nowadays people, regardless of the industry, they see AI as a silver bullet. Guys, it's not. It's just one more tool in the toolbox. Nothing more. Bit more advanced, but tool nonetheless. So it's not gonna work by itself. You still need to feed it. You still need to wield it. But it's not the silver bullet. It's not the magic wand. Treat it as any other tool.
Let's get this straight. AI won't save your business. Andreja Zujkovic, founder of IceFyre Solutions, is here to remind you there's no magic wand in business. As a seasoned tech consultant, Andrea has seen countless organizations try to use AI as a cure-all. The truth? AI won't solve your problems unless you've got the right foundation. It's about how you use it and not just having it at your disposal. Ready to uncover the tech mistakes holding your business back and the solutions that will fuel your growth? Welcome to the DesignRush Podcast. I'm Kia Johnson. Got a story worth sharing? Email us at spotlight@designrush.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the best industry insights. Andrea, welcome to the DesignRush Podcast. It is so wonderful to have you here with us today. You know, you've built a reputation for reshaping businesses with cutting-edge technology, but you are actually in our official DesignRush hot seat today. So I'm going to be starting out with our rapid-fire questions. Are you ready for me?
Hi, Kia. It's absolute pleasure to be here. So fire away.
Absolutely loving that. Okay. So my first rapid-fire question to you is, favorite way to relax?
Motorcycle riding.
Dream travel destination?
Namibia.
Biggest tech mistake businesses make?
Misplaced investments. Wrong people or wrong software.
Now, those were some great answers, I have to say. And I think that was a bit of a fun warm-up. And it looks to me like you do love to be a little bit in the hotter parts of the world, because Namibia is quite a hot place.
Yes, it is. And there are things, some adrenaline-driven sports that I really enjoy and that I can't wait to do in Namibia.
Okay, so Andrea, I want us to start talking a little bit more about what it is you do and the impact that you are making in the industry. You have got, Andrea, over 18 years of experience in tech consulting and software development. How did you get started in transforming businesses through technology? And what led you to found IceFyre Solutions?
Well, Kia, the whole entrepreneurship journey started accidentally in 2015, really. I started my professional career as a software engineer back in 2006. And in those days, I was tech geek corporate guy. So you placed me in some cubicle in the corner and I was only interested in writing software, creating apps, that's it. Leave me alone to my code, nothing beside that. So fast forward to beginning of 2015, I came across a job ad published by some German, Irish unknown company to me. They were looking for a team of developers they wanted to relocate to South Africa. I applied just for the fun of it. I really did. So 6 months down the line, I find myself at Cape Town International Airport in totally different part of the world. What I've discovered in there, apart from Cape Town being one of the most beautiful places on earth, I discovered that there are people who create PowerPoint presentations for a living. Mind-blowing for me at the time, people creating presentations and do that for a living. Gradually, I started to work with designers and entrepreneurs, and I became aware just how satisfying it is to work with people who want to build something of their own. And there I realized that I would prefer to live and work among creative people, among entrepreneurs, rather than climb the corporate ladder. So right there, there was idea born to create a company that will help entrepreneurs, that will help small business. And since I was already talking to designers, talking to experts in creative industry, that kind of fell into my lap.
And it sounds like such a beautiful journey and exciting at the same time as well. So what I would like to know is, what was the initial challenge that you faced when building IceFyre Solutions from the ground up?
In the very beginning, I thought, as long as I deliver solid quality work, clients will recognize my value and everything else will sort itself out. I was so wrong. I was still in a worker mindset. In my head, I was still an employee, not a business owner. It took me quite some time and quite a couple of failures to realize that I have no idea how to run and how to grow a business. So after that one moment in front of the mirror, for me, there was only one option. My friend, get yourself educated and do it fast because you're already behind. So first challenge was to transform myself from a programmer to a business owner. And that I have learned the hard way. And what I've learned as well is that as a small business owner, your company is a reflection of yourself. The growth comes within. So once you yourself improve, the business improves together.
It's so interesting that you had to change your mindset because you were still thinking like an employee. You had to think like a boss.
Yeah.
And that is where you did the shift. And with that mindset, you started understanding what it is you need to do to get to that journey, that or that goal that you are looking at, and the bigger picture that you want for yourself. Andrea, what would you say has been the most rewarding part of your entrepreneurial journey so far?
I'm gonna sound like a total cliche now, but believe me, for me, it really is the truth. The biggest reward for me is when I see that my work has made a positive impact on the people close to me. When I see that I'm able to help them avoid or overcome challenges. And when I say people, I mean my staff and my clients alike. Because small business breathes and lives with its own. And the people around him are the ones that are affected the most.
Now, over the years, IceFyre Solutions specialized in helping creative agencies optimize their workflows through digital transformation. So I'd love for you to walk us through a case study where your solution delivered significant time savings for an agency.
Okay, let me give you one recent example. Last year, I met with a German agency. They found me on LinkedIn and they reported that their front desk staff and their project managers are very stressed out and feel very overwhelmed with work. As a result of that, they were giving poor instructions to design teams that led to design teams spending way more time over budget and ultimately poor performance for the entire company. Upon closer inspection of the setup that they have, I saw they are receiving all of their work through email, through one mailbox, which is okay, common in the industry. But what was surprising is they allocated 2 people to manage single mailbox with incoming 2,000 to 3,000 emails per day.
What? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when you calculate that, you quickly see that a single project manager has no more than 30 seconds to answer one project request. And in those 30 seconds, he needs to understand what the client is asking for. He needs to come up with the estimates and ETAs to give back to the client. And finally, he needs to allocate the work to the team. All that in 30 seconds. Obviously, no way that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, so you're talking about the time, like you calculated it to the T right now to say that, it's 30 seconds if you were to actually average that out in terms of the email boxes themselves. So how do you determine the potential time savings for each agency before implementing a solution then?
Well, what we do is we agree before starting on a project, before onboarding a client. We agree with them on a set of measures and KPIs we want to follow, and we measure before our solution and after. Because we are engineers. I'm an engineer, so we express everything in numbers. So we'll have to express everything in numbers, and we found it's best to illustrate our progress through a set of KPIs that we will measure before and after and show the difference.
Are there any other, or what were the other key challenges that were needed to be overcome during the specific implementation that you did?
Well, this specific implementation was challenging in terms of adaptation. So just let me go a step back and quickly run you through the solution that we put in place for this specific problem. We, for this customer, ended up implementing a bot that will go through mailbox, scan individual email item, find all the important bits like desired deadlines, like specific instructions, number of slides needed, attached files, extract all that and put that into a separate location on SharePoint. So a previously stressed out project manager doesn't need to scroll through endless lists of thousands of emails. It has a page. He has a page on SharePoint which shows him top 2 or 3 jobs that are most urgent for that moment. Because we extracted all the important bits, we filtered and sorted them in such a way to focus only on the top 2 or top 3 most important jobs, so that the project manager can spend his right now time, his moments now to describe what he needs to do, to give the instructions to the team, or to analyze properly and revert back to the client. So the challenge there was to shift the mindset of those people. They were so into their hamster wheel mentality. They are so used to everything. First email that comes in, I need to grab it. I need to deal with that. No. First email does not necessarily mean that is the most important or the most urgent thing that you need to deal with. Yeah. So let us determine what is the urgent thing for you to deal with, and we'll let you at it. So it took a bit of educating them and establishing their trust within the new tool. After that, they saw benefits and they sat back and were relaxed. And obviously, as a result of that, they were way more productive.
Many creative agencies are still using outdated systems that hinder productivity. So what are some common pain points that you've encountered in your work with agencies? And then how do your tech solutions actually address these issues?
It's not so much about them using outdated systems. Nowadays, everyone is using a handful of modern cloud-based tools. Things like Office 365, Google Workspace, various management boards, Trello, Jira, and the other brands. So it's not about using outdated software. The issue often lies in the fact that they either use too many tools that don't communicate with each other, and by doing that, the staff needs to note in more than one tool, needs to repeat the data, the things don't line up, things don't match. Or the other problem is they use inadequate tools for the job. I've got an interesting example for that as well, if you want to hear about it. So, I have a client that tracked all his projects through a automated Excel template. Nothing wrong with that, right? But his staff complained that the file was too big, it was too complicated, too cumbersome for use, and just too slow. One click takes minutes. I've started to work with it, and obviously, it is so uncomfortable to use. Every click is a minute to 5 minutes. But the funniest part is yet to come. The funniest part is I've discovered that work items, tasks for people on the project were not displayed anywhere on the sheet, anywhere in a table. They were comments on an individual cell. So let's say that I want to know what is the status on project X. Up front, I need to know that Maddie is handling project X. So I need to find a sheet with today's roster. I need to find Maddie. I need to allocate a time slot current and go to that cell, and only then I scroll through a list this big of all the work items Maddie has done on all projects. So it took me almost 40 minutes to get to information about task on project X. And that should be a simple click within 2-3 seconds. What actually happened there is, years ago, that Excel template was created to capture staff allocation, to see who's working which days, which shifts. Fine, right? Certain point later on, people started adding comments about their work items, and that quickly blew up. So for me, it was a simple solution. I reverted that file to its original use, and on the side, we introduced Trello as a card management for capturing their work items, for managing their projects. And when they were used side by side, obviously everything worked fast and accurately, so there was no misconception there. So it's either too many tools and not a single one used properly, or one tool that is being misused for the purpose unintended.
Yeah. I mean, you're using this example right now, and I'm kind of wondering that, I guess each situation would be quite unique. So this was the first step that you needed to do in addressing this situation. But is there sort of a general first step in addressing, these pain points? Or would you say it's about changing systems or changing mindsets? You were saying that there's also too many systems that you're probably using and things are not communicating with one another. So if you could expand on that a little bit more, and dive a little deeper into that, that'd be great.
Well, the first step in addressing pain points would be to perform a root cause analysis to discover where the actual source of the problem is. Sometimes it's a tool, sometimes it's a mindset. Again, depending on the setup. If it's a misused tool, it's fine. But if people are using the tool in a wrong way, if they are accustomed to doing something that they have been doing for years, and we know that is unproductive, or we know that that is not the most efficient use, it's a bit harder, then it's a mindset problem.
I'm hearing you. So how do you ensure that your solutions are adaptable to an agency's evolving needs over time?
Well, during analysis and during client onboarding, we often speak with our clients about their strategic goals. Where do they see their business in a year, 2, 3, 5? Why? That helps us to pick a right tool that is able to scale up in the direction where they want to go. So for me, that's one of the most commonly used approaches to interview with stakeholders upfront and to unpack maybe some of the things that they are not ready to say to the public about their plans, about their goals, about the market or product that they want to launch. We need to know about that if they want to have a tool able to scale in the right direction.
Andrea, time management and task delegation are significant hurdles for agencies. So I would like to know, how have you integrated AI into your workflow solutions to optimize your task and your deadline management for creative teams?
Well, first of all, delegation is, in my opinion, an overlooked problem. Everybody in tech world nowadays focused on how to generate content. So everyone that advertises any AI solution says that their AI product will increase productivity by putting content on the slides faster. Okay, fine, nothing wrong with that. But I tend to see things a bit differently. We all want our clients to be happy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And when I speak to agencies, one of my favorite questions is, do you actively measure your client satisfaction? So for those agencies that actively do that actually go through the length of seeking client satisfaction and measuring it, they often realize it's more about delivering on time than about delivering quantity or quality. I like to compare this with catering industry. So let's say I ordered a birthday cake for my daughter's birthday. I would like that cake to be of exceptional quality and delivered on time at the venue, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
If that cake is not of the best quality, but it arrives on time, I won't be ecstatic, but I'll still be satisfied, right?
Yes.
If it arrives late, if it comes in tomorrow, no matter what the quality, I don't have the need for it.
Yes.
So in our world, if I miss a deadline, if I don't receive my presentation in time for my great sales pitch or for my board meeting, I have no use for it later. While working with designers, I've come to realize that they personally are very bad at giving estimation. So determining scope of work, giving ETAs, creative people are just not good at it. Even with proper training and years of experience, I haven't seen anyone being more accurate than 30% of the cases. So in other words, 2 out of 3 cakes will arrive late.
Yes. Okay.
So,
yes.
last 3 years, we at IceFyre have been trying to come up with an AI solution which will be able to predict scope of work more accurately than designers do. And I'm proud to say, after quite a number of failures, we now have a working prototype that gives predictions with accuracy between 75 and 80%.
So, what would you say some of the challenges are that agencies face when first adopting AI-driven solutions? And then how would you say, they overcome them?
Well, depends on the problem that they want to address. Again, if they chose the right tool for the job, adopting part won't be that hard. Also, nowadays people, regardless of the industry, they see AI as a silver bullet. Guys, it's not. It's just one more tool in the toolbox. Nothing more. Bit more advanced, but tool nonetheless. So it's not going to work by itself. You still need to feed it. You still need to wield it. But it's not a silver bullet. It's not a magic wand. Treat it as any other tool.
How do you ensure that AI tools integrate smoothly with existing agency tools and processes? Yeah.
When we start to implement an AI-driven tool, it's again matter of software integration and matter of educating the staff that use that. So again, tool as any other, we need to train the people to use it properly in order to give results. And also, difficult part is AI tools are usually based to cloud environments. And creative agencies tend to keep their files private. They have to do it. Their clients' data is sensitive, and obviously they need to take care of it in a proper manner. So technical difficulty that arises from there is, how do we connect cloud-based AI tool to feed itself with relevant data, but do not have security breach and misuse of the trust that was given to the agency by their clients.
I want to move on to my next question now, Andrea. At PixelFairy, you've spearheaded innovative initiatives in PowerPoint creation. You were chatting a bit about that earlier, including AI-driven solutions. So how can such solutions impact efficiency, especially for agencies that are working with multiple clients, lots of deadlines?
Well, first thing I have to say, PixelFairy is our strategic partner, our source of data, and our testing ground. This time prediction AI model that we spoke about a couple of minutes back was born as a result of our partnership with PixelFairy. And since PixelFairy is an agency that serves hundreds of clients, we needed to make usage of this AI tool easy and accessible to wide audience. So to get that, we came up with a PowerPoint add-in that serves purely as delegation tool. End users install it, it pops up as a new toolbar in PowerPoint, and what they need to do is they just need to describe what they want done on a particular slide. And how they do that? They do that using text and graphics tool the same way they would create a slide themselves. When they do it, they just need to push one button called submit, and that will send the entire content to our AI solution. And in real time, they will be given two things. They will be given effort required in minutes, and they will be given the ETA when that job can be done.
So you're chatting a little bit now about the processes, and I want to expand on that a little bit more to find out from you what specific elements of the PowerPoint creation process were actually automated or improved with AI.
With this time prediction, we managed to improve delegation process. So what we managed there was, let me again put an example. The idea behind this came from Uber, actually. So, Uber revolutionized taxi industry by providing two pieces of information. When your taxi is going to arrive and how long the journey will take, in which route, right? So it took away all that anxiety of waiting for a taxi, when it's going to arrive, did I miss it, will I be there on time, and so on. So over here in delegation process, we've given a client upfront how many minutes will that job require and what specific time they will receive it. That's something they have never had upfront. So they can plan. I've submitted 15 slides and I need them by 4 o'clock, but the tool says I can only have them by 5. Okay, I'll remove one slide, I'll merge these two, I'll reformat that, submit again. Okay, says 3:45. Good, I'm good. So we managed to improve a lot in the delegation part. What we also are busy with, this is our work in progress at the moment, is we're trying to improve on quality check as well. We're now working on a different AI model that will be able to detect and correct alignment errors, layout errors, spacing problems, those things that are often missed by a human eye.
How do you measure the success of the systems you implement? I mean, are there specific metrics or KPIs that agencies should track to see the return on investment from your software solutions?
We agree with the client upfront on a set of KPIs that will be used and monitored before and after our work. So, depending on the type of work the client is doing, we determine appropriate KPIs. For example, if client deals with a lot of urgent jobs, short turnarounds as they call, obviously our go-to KPI is on-time delivery, whether they deliver that on time or not. If, on another hand, the client deals with huge decks that consists of hundreds of slides, usually requiring formatting or conversion from one master to another, our go-to metric in that case would be volumes. So, number of slides delivered, number of decks delivered, and so on. If on another hand, the client deals with more creative work, so we do unusual jobs, we do specialized pitch decks, we do storytelling, video editing, then KPI is customer satisfaction, which we usually measure with NPS score.
So how do you balance between tracking short-term performance versus your long-term ROI?
We usually pick at least 4 to 5, sometimes up to 10 different KPIs depending on the complexity of the problem and depending on the length of the project. Sometimes it makes sense to track certain things half a year, 2 years in order for trends to emerge. Seasonal work, for example.
So what are the most surprising results that you've seen agencies achieve by adopting your solutions?
Most surprising results came in improving their productivity. Let me go back to my first example with 3,000 emails and delivery of that SharePoint system. that particular project addressed only one bit in their work process, but it had a huge domino effect on all the subsequent steps. Design teams were given way better instructions. They were able to deliver from the get-go without reaching back to the client, going back and forth, rework and all that. So productivity is first gain, significant and the biggest in most cases, gain that agencies have as a result of our work.
For agencies that may have not yet embraced digital transformation, what steps should they take to start modernizing their workflows, and what key mistakes do you think they should avoid during this process?
Well, as in any type of transformation becomes a journey where you need to face yourself and you need to discover what needs correcting. I mean, we all know what we are good at, right? And we're not shy to express it. We also know what we are not good at, and that kind of gets left aside. We don't like talking about it. We don't like to discover that. But so digital transformation, as in any other transformation, begins with that. One of my clients, when asked, okay, what is your customer satisfaction rate? He said 99%. Wow, I'm blown away. So my follow-up question was, hey, how did you measure it? He said, well, I just know. What metrics did you use? No, man, I just know. Okay. So, needless to say that his 99% after measuring became 29.
Ooh, yeah. The metrics are so important. Oh my gosh, shame. And he was so confident though that it's 99%. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm hearing you. So Andrea, in your experience, what are the most common mistakes that agencies make when adopting new tech solutions? And then how can they avoid these pitfalls to maximize their efficiency and their ROI, would you say?
One of the most common mistakes that I've seen is the owner or the manager buys a new tool, deploys it, and orders it to be used from the very next day.
Well, yes. Yeah.
So what I've come to realize in smaller environments, especially in creative industry, it's crucial to announce changes up front, to announce tools up front, train the staff properly, and furthermore, explain what the new tool is doing and if it needs a different way of thinking, you need to nicely and properly explain it to people so they know the idea, the intent behind the whole thing. There is no cut-off approach. And the cut-off approach really doesn't work. You need to do this in phases. You need to introduce it by using focus groups, 3 to 5 people, and roll it out across the company incremental.
Do you think that agencies often underestimate the importance of user training when they're implementing these new systems?
They do very much, because they are not aware that if you don't train people, you create resistance. Your tool will be poorly adopted, and it needs to be adopted by the very same people that they are supposed to benefit from it. So you end up spending money on the tool, staff does not adopt it, the result is not there, so your investment goes flat. You don't receive a result, and ultimately I look bad as well because I failed to implement it together with you.
How can an agency then prepare it's culture for the changes that come with adopting new technology. And company culture is something, just to expand on that from my perspective, is just something that has been, I've discussed this a couple of times, how company culture is such an important thing and influences the organization as a whole.
In my opinion, the only thing that they need to do, the only value that they need to proclaim is open communication. Because if you have a honest and open communication in both directions with your staff, with your peers, with everybody else in the company, they won't hesitate, they won't be afraid to ask questions. Very often, people in top management forgot all the details that are related to certain position. And even though they've done their job 15 years ago, they forgot the nitty-gritty details that are important to the person doing that on a daily basis. So if that person is afraid to be heard, to voice his concerns about the new change coming in, is a good chance that that change won't be adopted and able to fall flat. So company culture for me is honesty, transparency, communicating everything without hesitation. Only then will people from, let's say, lower levels, bad word perhaps, but from different levels in the company, they will be encouraged enough to step forward and say what they want to say, give honest feedback, good or bad.
So it's all about finding solutions, right? I'm all about solution finding. I absolutely love that. So Andrea, for agencies that are looking to scale, how does IceFyre Solutions help them prepare for growth through technology, and what specific systems or integrations would you say are crucial for scaling operations efficiently?
We at IceFyre over the years have accumulated a unique knowledge how creative agencies work. Our clients often describe us as an inside man because we are able to quickly pinpoint where the bottlenecks in their work processes are without them having to explain a lot, without them having to explain everything to us. So, what systems are crucial, you ask? Okay, each creative agency has some sort of customer journey, a life cycle of a single job that travels throughout the company from one stage to another until it's being delivered. In my experience, obviously, all agencies want to have unique customer journey for their segment of clients. They want to offer something different. But when we set all the differences aside, I've seen that there are 3 key systems in each of their customer journeys. System number 1, front desk. So, people and tools that are facing the customer. Receiving the job, estimating, feeding back the ETA, managing deadlines, and speaking to the customer and to the design team. System number 2, production part. People that actually execute on creating presentations. So we need to organize that team. We need to manage workload. We need to manage capacity. We need to know who works on which job at which time. We need to know which part of the job is allocated to which team and which people. So in general, management of production is a second big system. And the third and final one is delivery part. So after presentation has been produced, we need to check if everything is in order. We need to do a proper multi-level quality check on it, on each slide. Then we need to send out that presentation using correct channels to correct people and lastly but not least, we need to seek and collect customer feedback. So with these three systems, they are more or less common for any agency. And obviously, all three play a crucial role in the ability of agency to deliver. And for each three, IceFyre has a set of tools that we use to address problems in each system.
Okay. So, I mean, you're talking about these processes and then you just mentioned tools right now. So then what role would you say does automation play in the scaling process?
Well, automation is, let's say, a key player in each of these systems. When we do our deep dive and we analyze processes in the target agency, apart from behavioral problem, mindset problems, everything that has to do with some sort of tool, it's a subject of automation. And that automation can come in various forms. Sometimes all we need to do is connect to already existing pieces of software. We need to connect their Outlook with their SharePoint. We need to connect their SharePoint with their MS Teams. We need to connect their Drive with some other software. Easy integration and automation right there. More difficult case is when we need to bridge bigger gap, wider gap. Then we need to develop a custom software. Then we need to bridge that problem, address it in a more complex manner, usually by creating tailor-made solution, but again, not necessary.
So how do you ensure that agencies don't outgrow these systems as they expand?
We keep measuring.
Okay.
Again, we keep measuring because we educate our clients as we go. And we show them the importance of proper reporting and proper measurements. So after a while, they see a great value in it, and they themselves come back and report saying, listen, integration that you've done is not performing now like it did last year. It's slower now, it doesn't do the job. Let's go see why. Okay, volume has changed, people have changed, you've added this and this to your process, it's not the same anymore, we need to correct it.
So what qualities would you say or practices do you believe actually sets your agency apart as a true strategic partner for businesses? Yeah.
Well, IceFyre is small business. And as such, we are able to relate and communicate quite effectively with other entrepreneurs. So we have a peer understanding right there. Also, we decided to serve only a handful of clients at a time. So no large scale outs. We are not for everybody and not everybody is for us. That is something that we decided years ago. And what that ends up is we are able to focus on specific problems properly with our full attention. And by doing so, we are able to design and deliver tailor-made solutions for the problem that the client is having.
How does your agency's mission and values then influence the way that you work with clients and deliver results? You were talking about the fact that you only, you work with certain organizations. So you sort of sit and you choose and you're like, okay, this is a good fit and this is maybe not a good fit. So would you say then that in essence incorporates what I just asked you, in terms of the mission and the values?
Yes, okay. Yes. And we pay very close attention whether a potential client is in line with our values or not. I'll go back to one statement that Simon Sinek said once. He said, every time I took a job with people that do not respect my values, but I took it for the money, I regretted it. I regretted every second that I spent doing that job. And every time I took a job that I liked the people behind that, no matter the pay, I enjoyed every second that I spent working on it. So that is, in a nutshell, what we uphold as well. We work with people that are in line with our values, and those values are quality, loyalty, communication. Those are the things that we value greatly, and we will work with our similar peers. And as you said, the goal is partnership.
Andrea, can you share an example where your agency's unique approach directly contributed to a client's success, or do you have any other success stories that you can share with us?
There is one unique story that I would like to share. By working with our strategic partner, Pixel Ferry, back in 2018-19, if I remember correctly, we designed a system that enabled them to have infinite number of designers working on one file and therefore one job. For us, it was a quest. For us, it was a challenge like no other, because when we eventually emerged from it, when we eventually delivered that system 2 years later, we've learned that we've accumulated so much knowledge about the inside works of PowerPoint format that I can now safely challenge any engineer at Microsoft to do the same. We went through uncharted territory there. Yeah. Honestly, seeking help from former Microsoft employees, finding out some internal documents, really going through uncharted territory.
Yes.
To pull together this solution.
That's interesting. Okay, so finally, Andrea, who in the industry would you love to have a conversation with about these topics that we've been discussing, and why?
Well, we've discussed a lot on AI and contribution of AI to creative industry. But there's one person that I follow and that I really love his work. That's Troy Collar. He is someone that does quite a unique job. He is someone that creates presentations on a large scale format. So very large screens, projectors, facing the entire buildings. It's way different to create slides for that than for a desktop. So something that I always wanted to ask him is, do you see a possibility of an AI being able and being precise enough to take a desktop created slide and format it, zoom it out, reshuffle it in a way to be appropriate to be displayed on a, 100 meters wall?
Andrea, we've actually come to the end of our conversation here on the DesignRush Podcast. I just wanted to say that it's been so great chatting with you. But before I go, is there any advice you want to share with anybody who's perhaps in the same, industries as you? Anything that you'd like to share with us before we say our final goodbyes?
Advice that I can give to anybody entering this industry is be persistent. That's it. And that's it. No more words. Just
Yeah.
be persistent.
I am hearing you and I agree with you 100%. Andrea, this has been absolutely wonderful. A conversation has been so insightful. You have been so lovely to interview. I've enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on the DesignRush podcast.
Thank you so much, Kia, for having me here. It was immense pleasure to talk to you. I can talk for days on creative topics, on AI, on all these things. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak and to say a little bit about things that I know.
You're most welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Curious about what top brands look for when choosing an agency? Tune in to our latest episodes where we reveal the decision-making secrets of leading brands. Subscribe to the DesignRush podcast and stay ahead of the competition.